Yep.
And I mean, I remember when the Sunset Overdrive reviews came out, one person actually wrote, it would be great to see Insomniac make a Spider-Man game. And I was like, see, we should make it.
See,
and
you waved your phone around to the whole studio.
Exactly. We took that kind of mentality and we just injected our personality, but also, what do people want, desire from a Spider-Man experience. So I think that's the thing we've been really layering on in this last year is to have that, it feels like an Insomniac game as much as it does a Spider-Man game.
Last night, Sony had their E3 press conference, and of course, they saved the best for last. That being Spider-Man. We've got 3 new gameplay videos, so let's dissect them all. So our first gameplay video opens up with a cutscene at the Raft, which is an overseas prison that holds all of the most dangerous criminals in the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man jumps onto a helicopter that is being piloted by Yuri, who seems to be the person that's always telling him where to go, what to do, and all that jazz. Electro strikes the helicopter with his lightning powers, and it starts going down. So he saves Yuri and jumps out of the helicopter. Then we see Electro free everybody from the prison, so Spider-Man goes to fight the escapees. And I must say, the combat looks very fluid, and you really feel the power of Spider-Man's attacks, especially in this part. One thing about the combat that really blew my mind was when he stuck to this column and bounced off of it with a punch. This means we'll be able to use the environment to fight, and that is impressive. We also see him slide under his opponent, which I think will be quite useful. And right here he jumps in the air and releases a ton of webs to subdue the prisoners. Right after that he tries to get this door open, then we see Rhino throw a part of a column at Spider-Man, which causes the door to bust open. And for some reason, Rhino sounds like the Hulk with a Russian accent.
Hope you like surprise, Spider!
Then we get a better look at the parkour mechanic, which looks awesome. And then we see the Scorpion grab Spider-Man with his tail, which afterwards he says,
Scorpion, can you hold on a minute? I was in the middle of a phone call and it was business.
Yeah, that works. I'll just put you on hold. Well, looks like we have more prisoners. I love how he zips towards this guy with the shield, jumps over him, and then swings over to an enemy with a baton. Right here we see a finishing move in the air, which is nice. Later on we see him use his webs to grab this guy's shield, spin it around, and throw it at one of the other guys, which is insane. And right after that, this guy tries to get up, but Spider-Man uses his web shots to keep him down. Now that everyone has been defeated, Electro attacks Spider-Man again, but fails, and he drops a reference to my personal favorite Spider-Man game, Ultimate Spider-Man. So Electro flees, and of course Spider-Man goes after him by running up this wall, which takes you outdoors, and that brings us to a chase sequence, which Spider-Man puts the environment to good use once again. But right when Spider-Man grabs Electro, the Vulture comes in and grabs him, in which he just webs his mouth shut and goes back to chasing Electro.
You sly dog! You got me monologuing!
After the chase, Electro uses some shipping crates so that Spider-Man can't get to him, but he finds an opening and reaches Electro, which he flies upwards, so Spider-Man goes after him, which brings you in control again, as you must dodge falling debris that Electro is using to try to hit you. And I could be wrong about this, but if you dodge in the wrong direction, you'll get hit, so you have to pay attention to where it's going. Spider-Man catches up to Electro, and every villain that escaped from the raft is here to take him on. And Mr. Negative shows up in the helicopter too. which he says this.
Remember, he said not to kill him.
So the question is, who is he? Then Spider-Man knocks down Vulture and Scorpion, which Vulture gets back up to grab him, and Spider-Man knocks him down again, but Scorpion stabs Spider-Man with his tail, and judging by that green tip on his tail, that poisoned him. He tries to get away from the conflict. Then we see a bright light, and it's hard to tell what he's saying because he's saying it under his breath, but it sounds like he said, "Tony, you?" in a surprised manner. And if that's the case, it seems like the one and only Iron Man has come to assist with the situation. Not only that, but this could also mean that the Avengers project and Spider-Man PS4 are connected. So it seems like we are getting a Marvel game universe. But don't get your hopes too high because I could be totally wrong about this. I mean, I made a video saying that Crush 40 would never return in a Sonic game, and less than a week later, Crush 40's music was in the E3 trailer for Team Sonic Racing. But something that I'd like to mention is that this mission has to be in the beginning of the game, because if there's a jailbreak going on, we're going to have to catch those who escape later, because the villains will likely run away from the fight. But also, this is exactly what happens in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Now onto the second video. We see some swinging, which this swing gets him up pretty high, and he does a cool trick in the air. Right here we see some more combat, and he webs Mr. Negative's henchmen to the walls, just like the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Which I always loved that, so seeing the return of said feature is so cool. Right here he takes a big drop, and there's no fall damage. I'm sorry, but I'm very disappointed, because fall damage adds intensity to the gameplay. They might add it later on, but I doubt it. But he smashes the ground when he does fall, so at least there's that detail. And then we get to see wall crawling, which we have not seen before. And it is a bit slow, but then again, that is the point of having a wall run. While fighting waves of enemies at a construction site, they talk about the focus meter, which is this meter below your health bar that allows you to perform finishing combo moves, but also to heal yourself. And during this part, we can see that gunshots do a lot of damage to you, but I like that because it's realistic. When we see Spidey interact with this machine, it starts a bomb challenge, in which you have to get to the bombs and disable them, but it's a little bit different this time around. He throws it into the air, but after doing that, you have to keep hitting the bomb with web shots until it explodes. And when it explodes in the air where nobody can get hurt. Now I will discuss the third video. Right here we can see the menu for the game, which I love how he is on his phone, and when you start the game, he pulls the rest of his mask down and jumps right into the action. Now if you look carefully right here, it says press X to jump and gain speed. So I think that this is going to be like Spider-Man 2's web swinging, how you were able to charge your jump to determine how high you wanted to go when you let go of your web. And the more you swing, the more momentum you get. This is an E3 demo, so I think that they have the swinging on a beginner's level. So therefore, people playing this who have not played a Spider-Man game before will be able to understand the mechanics. This part right here is the same mission as before, which this is a demo, so it makes sense that you'll see some of the same stuff. But there is this. You heard that right? Let's listen again. After the enemies have been taken care of, right here you can see a gunfight between Mr. Negative's henchmen and police officers, and it says press R3 to show active crimes. So this right here has to be an optional side mission. Right here we see Spider-Man inside of a mysterious building, and we see some more stealth, but also we see him use his webs to lower this shelf onto one of the goons, which I'm going to have a lot of fun doing that when this game comes out. This demo also shows us the boss fight against Shocker, which is pretty much the same as Spider-Man 2's. Dodge his attacks, wait for an opening, wail on him. But he has actual phases, which is a great addition. And that's everything that there is to talk about. This gameplay definitely showed us a better taste of what this game is going to be like. Web swinging is like a refined Spider-Man 2, parkour looks simple and satisfying to use, and the combat definitely looked a lot more in-depth compared to previous Spider-Man games. And just to let you know, I finished the script for my Spider-Man 2 review and downloaded all the footage I need. Now I just need to record the audio and edit the review, so hopefully I'll have that long overdue review finished. I know that I should have started this series before, but I really did not want to rush it. But thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you all later.